guys. Well played, Lewis. You've seen it all, been on the journey with this club. Ever been involved in anything quite like that?
Yeah, but it was a special day. They were top side and we had to be at our best, and we were today, and it showed out there. I think we've let our home fans down a lot this year, and to come to the end of the season and reward them with that, I think it was a nice moment.
Was that really on your minds then? We owe the fans one.
Yeah, we've been thinking it. Obviously away from home our form's been excellent. Home form's not been so good. That's probably held us back a bit in the league, and they've had to watch some not so good performances, and you can hear the noise out there today. They enjoyed that one.
Mark, Brighton 4, Manchester United 0. How does that sound?
No, this is unbelievable. I think the great effort of the team. We played really well. We scored a lot of goals, and this is very happy because the team worked together all the season. We stay 6 games lose, and this is a present for the fans, for the team, and for all the season.
You picked a good moment for your first goal.
Yeah, good moment. This summer, me and my family have a bad moments. Come here is difficult. New country, new league, new language, and this is very difficult. And now is very excited for me, for my family, because we stay together here in the bad moments, and this is a present for him.
So is that why you looked so emotional when you got your goal?
Yeah. This is because for me, it's difficult to come here, for my family as well, because when we come here, my little son have 10 days, and this is difficult for together. And now he's a present because he stay with me always. We travel with me, we change the city, there's no problem. And this is very special for me.
Yeah, he'll be proud of you now.
Yeah.
Hey, Lewis, I suppose maybe just a few moments, a few times in a player's career where football just feels perfect and beautiful and easy. Was there just a spell, particularly in that second half, where it just all worked?
Yeah, and I think we waited for that one to come all together, and it come today. But obviously, we're still a couple moments we switched off where I wasn't happy and I was shouting. But
come on, Lewis.
I'll never be. I'm happy, but I'm never too happy. Yeah, no, it's a great win. Yeah, so we go away and have a nice evening.
Yeah, and Mark, that third goal, I think you were involved. Great pass from Robert Sanchez. You took it down, and it obviously ends up Pascal Gross in the back of the net. Perfect Brighton football, that.
Yeah, this is true. We like play football. We use the keeper for the build-up, and this is a great goal. We work these movements in the training, and today with this movement we score, and this is happy for the work of the team.
And I know you talked about you're doing brilliant. I know you talked about some of the challenges you've had, but if you look like you've made it quite easy, actually.
Too easy.
Go on.
Too easy.
No.
Go on. How good is he?
Amazing. From game 1 to now, to come, like you said, over to a new country, new league, into the Premier League, and perform at a consistent level he has, he's been outstanding and a pleasure to play with.
How do you feel hearing those words?
Yeah, because it's too easy play with this captain and in his side. For me, it's easy.
Sounds like he keeps moaning at you.
Yeah, this sometimes we have some bad words for me, but this is the game and no problems.
Oh, we should be done with this interview, but what are the bad words?
Too brief for the telly.
Well done today, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much. Cheers, thank you.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah, we appreciate the effort in not using them. But look, in terms of the reaction to that win, they're trying to sort of keep a lid on it, the Brighton players, and sort of not to be too celebratory about it. But what did you make of that Brighton performance?
They were fantastic. I mean, right from the first minute, they're on the front foot. You thought Man United had a player sent off. They just couldn't get into the game, second to everything. They were determined to put a show on for the supporters. What you have to say about Brighton is, if a team can't win away from home, like Everton, you're questioning their character. Well, they go away from home and win, but find it difficult at home. That can only be that teams maybe show them a bit more respect when they go down to Brighton now and sit in and wait and try and nick the game from Brighton. Because Brighton are a really good football team. They only try and play one way, which is try to get on the front foot, pass and move. They've got some great technicians, McAllister, Gross, Trossard, really good technical players. And I think, I think if I lived down that era, I'd be buying a season ticket there. I enjoy watching them play.
How difficult or otherwise did Manchester United make it for them?
Well, it didn't look difficult the way they passed around those red shirts today. Brighton looked comfortable. They looked comfortable in possession because there wasn't much pressure on them at all. Man United didn't know whether to stick or twist. Do we squeeze? Do we not squeeze? Whatever they did today, Man United I'm talking about, it just wasn't good enough. In every single department, in a Man United shirt, wasn't good enough. It really wasn't. You know, I'm not going to take anything away from Brighton. They were outstanding. Sometimes you say, well, De Gea was outstanding today, but the finishes were brilliant, and Brighton deserve all the plaudits.
Yeah, good finishes right from the off. Let's start with the first goal. Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, listen, great finish. You know, it's in the box here. It doesn't get cleared. It's a terrible header from Tellez, and they don't really deal with it. McAllister has a shot. He gets blocked, but Caicedo to drag it into his path from his left foot, stretching away, keeps it under control. And you know what? It might not look like a lot of time, but he's taken a second or a second and a half where there should be pressure on him. Left foot to right foot, sorts his feet out, there's no real pressure on him, sticks it through Lindelof's legs into the bottom corner. Deserved to be one up.
First goal for him and a first goal for Cucurella in the Premier League.
Yeah, this take here from McAllister, Silky takes a Man United player out of it, and it's a wicked ball across the front. Goalkeeper doesn't want to come for it. It's between the last defender and the goalkeeper. It was a gorgeous ball. Watch this take here. And then he fires it across. That's a gorgeous ball. Ends up with Trossard. He hesitates and he just sets it up nicely with Cucurella. Really, the only place it could have gone in the net, but a lovely strike. Look, bit of bend on it. You're thinking the goalkeeper might have done better.
Again, the Pascal Gross goal was another well-worked opportunity. You see how emotional Marc Cucurella was after that goal. He said the emotion just overtook him, but after the third goal, Brighton were absolutely in control.
I mean, this is my favourite goal, you know, what a pass from the keeper. Cucurella's there, he was outstanding, the left back all day. The keeper made some great saves as well, into Trossard, into Gross. He shapes to use his right foot, but he comes on his left. Again, you can see on the big picture there, look at those Brighton players, look at the movement off the shoulders of those Man United players, not panicking, getting into goal-scoring positions and making sure that they score when they have those opportunities, which they haven't been doing all season. Today, they made it look easy, and I'm thinking to myself, why can't you do this all the time, away or at home? Been brilliant today.
The finish for the fourth goal was a little scruffy, but the move was lovely.
That pass there from McAllister, first time pass, he's aware, he finds Cross is running into the box. That's too easy, Vran's on his backside. Down the side for Welbeck. Why he doesn't shoot? Watch this. It's too easy. Watch Varane go to ground here. That's poor. I don't know where Danny Welbeck doesn't have a go there. There's a nice dink. Dalot is too deep, and it ends up coming off Trossard. That's so avoidable.
We should say as well, VAR did look at a potential hand involved in that goal from Trossard, but they couldn't come to anything.
But Kenny, you know, they were so positive today. You know, so positive, Brighton, getting players in the box. We can win this. We can outplay them. We can outfight them. They did all the above.
Well, you know, 4 doesn't flatter Brighton.
And in fact, could it have been more?
Yeah, easily. 4 did not flatter Brighton. You know, Man United, you know, the last thing you would hear as a player before you go out is make sure we start right. Because that generally sort of sets the tone of the game, certainly for the first 15, 20 minutes. And you know, if you're conceding goals at that point, that sets the tempo for the image of game going forward. But Man United came out as if they were out for a stroll. This game doesn't matter. They have to accept, and this is what I think a lot of these Man United players don't accept. Man United never have an easy game. You know, I said it before the game. This is not a big game for Man United, but this is a really big game for Brighton. You wear a target on your back when you play for a big football club. And if you can't deal with it, you shouldn't be at that football club. And I would suggest that Man United have a majority of those players that don't deal with it. That's why they've had such a miserable season and they can play like that.
You know what? One of the telltale signs for me is there was a clip there after one of the goals where Ronaldo was laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, is he laughing at his players? Is he laughing at the situation?
It was a sort of mirthless laugh, wasn't it?
It was very much a... Oh,
this is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's going on here? Am I at Man United or am I not? And it was like, that for me was... today. That just summed up today.
You can see what he's thinking. He's thinking, well, I always see the last time I had Paul Scholes, I had Roy Keane, Rio Ferdinand,
Giggs, yeah.
Now I've got this lot.
And Manchester United on the wrong end of that 4-0 scoreline. So contrasting emotions For the managers at the full-time whistle, we will hear from both Ralph Rangnick and Graham Potter in just a few minutes' time.
Well, Graham, for your team, your club, was that one of the great days?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we've had a bit of pain here this season in terms of not winning in front of our supporters. So we owed them one, and it's a special evening for us. A fantastic performance and an amazing result.
Yeah, you went round and sort of clapped the four corners of the ground. Did you really feel like you owed them one, even though, strangely, it's been a great season?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said before the game, in an ideal world, you want to get your points at home because it's in front of your supporters and makes everything feel better. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is you get the points. But it was nice for us today just to give the supporters a game, a performance, a memory. So we're delighted, of course.
Did you feel very early in the piece, before even the first goal, that it was going how you wanted it to?
Yeah, we played well from the start. I thought with a better team. The boys did everything they could in terms of what we asked them to do. Defended well, pressed well, created some danger, and then were brave on the ball. So I had a bit of sloppy moment when we scored, but overall I can't complain. It's a fantastic performance.
I spoke to a very knowledgeable football man before the game who told me that Moises Caicedo had a goal in him, even though at this point he hadn't scored for Brighton. So that was obviously you. You saw it coming.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes you get them right, sometimes you don't. But he's got the quality, he's got the ability to do it. It's just getting in the right place, and thankfully today he did. Great finish. He's been amazing since he's been in the team. So really, really happy for him.
It was a really good day for your recruitment, wasn't it? You used to look at Cucurella with the second goal, had a hand in the third. How do you do it? Who deserves the credit for that?
Well, I'd like to think it's a collective. I've always spoken about the fact that we can't compete financially necessarily. We have to be aligned with how we want to play, and the people we bring in. It's important that we get the right characters, the right attributes, and then keep working. So it's a huge credit to everybody at the football club. Like I said, starts from the top with the chairman. The supporters have been brilliant with us this season because it hasn't been easy for them. So having their support gives you a chance to keep working. So yeah, it's you have some moments in football that aren't great, but today's a good one.
How many days are there as a manager where you're just relaxed and you're just loving it? There must have been a spell, particularly in that second half, where you just thought, could have got your sun lounger out and just loved it.
No, unfortunately not. No, my catastrophic brain is not so healthy sometimes, so you can never relax, especially with the quality of players they have on the pitch. But I trust the players. I trust their performance. We had to, Rob made a couple of saves, but overall I think we deserved the win, and I'm really pleased for the players because, like I said, they've had to suffer, especially here. But it's 47 points for us, and it's improvement. So we're really happy.
You said in your pre-match press conference there's been a couple of spells during the season where it's felt really tough. It's felt. I think you used the word Armageddon actually.
Tongue in cheek, but yeah.
Yeah, but are you now able to say, great season? It's probably going to be Brighton's best ever top division season.
Yeah, and that's the irony. That's the learning point for us all, because you have to suffer because we're Brighton and Hove Albion. We're not some of the big guys, so there's going to be times where it's going to be tough for us, and the margins will go the other side, and we have to stick together. And I think we did that really well. Again, support from the top and everyone around us. It's a good football club with good people and a good group of players that want to try for each other, give their best. And when you've got that, there's always a chance that results, if you have a tough time, that they can turn around for you.
And from this brilliant season that you've had, what's the next step? You've obviously got people in demand. Success means that the vultures circle a little bit. You've got players, good players with 1 year left on their contract. What do you do next to stay ahead of the pack?
Well, you don't react, that's for sure. You sort of stick to the plan, stick to the idea, which is to keep aligning everything together. We've lost players last year. Ben White for 50 million, for example, Dan Burn. That's a lot of money that we've raised, which is important for our club, which is important for us to keep developing. So we're not scared of that. It's part of the strategy. It's part of what we have to do to be successful and compete. So it'll be an exciting summer.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers, Graham. Thanks for that.
Well, Graham Potter reflecting not just on the win today, but on the season for Brighton as a whole. They've already got more points in the bag than ever before, already got more wins, already got fewer defeats at the moment, and that can't now reach 15 because they've only got 2 games left to play. They're on target to break even more records, and yet he reflected on the moments this season when it's been difficult, particularly sort of February to April time.
Yeah, but that's a season. That's not, you're talking about the life of a football manager. You know, when you go through the hard times, you've all got to get together. That's the players, you, your staff, and the supporters. Like, the supporters weren't happy for a period of time during the season because they couldn't win at home. But when you look at those stats, they now, you'd like to think after this, if it's a period next year where they can't win at home, but they're still digging results out away from home, you would stick with them. You wouldn't be calling for his head. You know, you wouldn't be turning up at a game and being frustrated by it because you want to believe in those supporters. I mean, I think I've said it already, Kelly. You know, if you've got a team that can go away from home and win games at this level, it's telling you a great deal about them. They've got something about them. They're not feared to go and, sorry, that's a Scottish way of saying it. They're not fearful to go away from home and dig in and still play the same game, which is trying to get on the front foot, passing and moving. Okay, at home, it may be, because I don't see only the games on television when they're at home, it may be the games at home, that the opposition has shown them so much respect now, they're sitting in and not opening up to, you know, a goal fest because they know they can't take this team on in a game of football.
See, I like the way that the manager just comes out there and he speaks in a certain way and he's so measured. They've just beat Manchester United at home. They haven't been great at home. They haven't scored any goals anywhere, you know, this season, but they looked so comfortable and he's just kept his head and he said, listen, that's what I expect from my team, regardless of who we're playing. Good football, give me an end product, and I'm not surprised. And that's the way he came across, and I think it's great.
And while it's been a positively record-breaking season for Brighton, the same is true for Manchester United in the opposite sense. They're breaking all kinds of unwanted records. It's been a tough time for Ralph Rangnick. Just one more game left from him. We'll hear from the Manchester United interim boss next. Manchester United are limping towards the end of the season. This time it was a 4-0 defeat at the hands of Brighton. The travelling fans finally losing patience, singing, "You're not fit to wear the shirt." Let's hear what Ralph Rangnick made of it with Patrick Davison.
Well, unfortunately, you've had to come out and defend or explain a few bad performances in your time as Manchester United manager. Was that the worst? Was that a really terrible United performance?
Yes, it was. From the first until the last minute, this was just not enough in all important areas. We were second best. And let me to start with just, we can only apologize to our supporters. It was a terrible performance and a humiliating defeat.
Harder to explain because on Monday night there seemed to be a few green shoots. It was a better performance.
Yeah, it was a completely different game. But today, as I said, from the first minute, we just gave them too much time, too much space. We were never in a position where we could stop them from playing through our lines. And the game plan was completely different. We told the players to be as compact as we can be, and out of this being compact, release pressure on them. But we could never stop them.
So why have they essentially completely ignored the game plan?
I don't think that they ignored the game plan, but we were just not able to stop them. And as I said, we gave them too much space and time. And if you do that against a technically good team like Brighton, then this is the result.
What do they do then, Brighton, that Manchester United, the players either can't or won't do?
I mean, we had big problems with their width, with their wing backs. We couldn't stop their wing backs. They were pretty high and wide, and for us it was whenever they played that diagonal ball, we were struggling with those balls. Although we told our fullbacks that they should fan out earlier, but as I said, it was very, very difficult for us in the first half to stop them at all. In the second half, we took the risk to bring on Eddie as a second striker plus Fred and played in a 4-4-2. It was, in hindsight, maybe a little bit too much of a risk to play in a 4-4-2 against them, but we had to change the energy and try to change the energy. But as I said, today we were just second best in all relevant areas.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of the damage was done in the second half, but were the signs that this was going to be a really bad day? Were they there from minute one?
I mean, had we continued to play as we did in the first half, it would also have been only a question of time when to concede the second goal. That's why I decided to go into a more of a risk to play in a 4-4-2 with Eddie and, as I said, with Fred as a second six. But with the two early goals, 3-0, 4-0, after 60 or 65 minutes, it was a disaster for us.
Why has it happened against a team? I mean, this isn't a team with a great home record. Brighton don't win many games here with respect to them. They don't score many goals here. Why today have they hammered Manchester United 4-0?
as I said, as a team, we didn't defend at all. We were not able to stop them. And if you allow a team, no matter if it's Brighton or any other team, but they are good on the ball. We knew that even in the first half, in the first leg when we played them, we were struggling. But if you allow them that much space and time, and then after being 2 or 3-0 up for them, it was easy to play that game.
When you reflect on your time at Manchester United, Ralph, do you feel disappointed, not just in today, but that you haven't got more out of the players in general, or were things too far gone, too broken to fix?
I think we have to split it up into 2 different areas or halves. And as I said, until the West Ham game or even until the Tottenham game, we had in between very good performances. When we beat Tottenham at home, West Ham at home, when we won at Leeds, it was a completely different level of energy. But in games like today or at Everton, it was also a lack of energy, of aggressiveness. And if you play like that against the ball, you cannot win a game.
If you could go back in time, would you still take the call? Would you still come and do this?
Well, it doesn't make sense to think about that. When the call came in November, for me, it was clear that I want to do that. And as I said, in the first 4 months, we were on the right pathway. We were still in 3 competitions, and we had really good performances. But as I said, in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, we were really poor.
Thank you. Next one.
Ralph Rangnick pulled no punches, and neither did Bruno Fernandes when he spoke to Patrick Davison.
The fans have, by and large, stuck with the team, but there were a few around about the hour mark singing "You're not fit to wear the shirt," not just at you, but at the team. I mean, on the basis of that performance, is that fair?
No, I include myself on that. What we did today, I talk by myself. What I did today was not enough to hear to be in the Manchester United shirt, and I accept that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We've heard this from Manchester United players before, whether it's talking to the cameras or whether it's posting on their social medias, the apologies and the explanations as to why the performance wasn't good enough. Erik ten Hag will be watching this. He'll be making plans for next season. We've talked a lot about what the problems are at Manchester United. What does the solution look like? For a start, how many of those players, for various reasons, do you keep between now and the start of next season?
At the very beginning, Dion said that they've got good players. Yeah, they've got some good players. I haven't got any great players, but they've got good players. But they're a country mile away from the 2 teams that they need to catch, which is City and Liverpool. I think, as a football person, looking at that Man United team, the guy that's in charge of them now, they don't listen to him. For me, when I see someone speaking management, I always imagine, I don't know if you ever do this, I always imagine me back in the dressing room as a 22, 23-year-old, and that guy speaking to me. He ain't going to get me at it. This guy, Fergie would get me at it. He would not get me at it. And I think those Man United players have stopped listening a long, long time ago.
But if Ten Hag comes in and he's trying to get their attention, which ones do you think are worthy of his attention?
Sorry. The thing is, though, is that Rangnick's problem? What do you do if you're Rangnick? What do you do? No, I don't want the Man United job. Of course he's going to take it. Is it Man United's? It's Man United's fault, in my opinion, for not getting the right man in to take the manager's job and give him time to have a. How many interims do Man United have to have?
Man United have had 10 years since Fergie packed in of ridiculously poor football decisions. And I've never met that guy. Maybe I'll never meet him. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get a chance to speak football with him. But what genius is it Man United sat down and thought, we're going to get rid of Ollie. And there's a guy who is an advisor, a consultant. It was at Dynamo Moscow. I've been told he's a man. Well, let's check his CV. There's nothing about his CV would warrant him getting a job at Man United. If you go back to the players they've signed, the players have kept and renewed their contracts, to this latest guy who's come in and coach, manager, whatever you want to call him, I just don't know where they're getting the football decisions from. But they've consistently got them wrong for 10 years, and that's why they're in the mire.
It's hard to watch. Changes already
it's so hard.
At that level, and it looks as though there is going to be a change in approach over the summer. But in terms of the players, there are players who will be coming to the end of their contracts. There are players who look like they will be wanting to leave. There are other players who might want to stay, but the new manager and the new setup don't want. There are young players who need developing. There is a mixed bag at Manchester United, and it's working out who stays, who goes, and who you can sell if you want them to go.
Graham's right. At the start of the show, I said there's good players, right? There's actually a couple of potentially great players there as well. However, as good as you think you are, if you're not willing to do the basics in the game, and this is going straight back to the pen and paper, if you don't run around and work hard and make tackles and defend and do your job, no way can you implement your own skill. And if you don't do the basics, Kelly, you've got no chance at all.
But I never apologise for saying this. You have no chance of being successful at a football club unless you have good senior pros. I, as a young boy going to Liverpool, was surrounded by good senior pros. I like to think when I became a senior player, I was sending that message back down the line to the young ones coming. My first job I got was at Glasgow Rangers. I had people like Richard Gough, Terry Butcher, I had Ray Wilkins latterly. And when you've got those sort of guys, you don't really have much of a job to do. You know, if you're having a difficult time or someone's not at it, they're into them already. And I would suggest that Man United right now, they don't have any. I think I read somewhere several months ago that Ronaldo says people don't listen anymore. Now, and I thought it was a good idea to get them back there, because I thought they need a catalyst for change. They need someone that is going to say, this is how we train, this is how we look after it, we turn up on time, and we're at it all the time, because he's only ever played at big clubs. And I'll come back to that argument as well. They don't play any easy games. But Man United do not have any leaders. They've stopped listening. They've knocked off. And I would imagine, and I'm saying this, I would imagine they've got some real bad apples in that group that are tossing it off at the stand. I think they're not interested in Man United going forward.
If you look at the teams that have won the Premier League since 1992, we would, if we had time to think about this, we'd be able to pick out the captain and about 6 or 7 other pros that could be captain as well. Man United, even back to Blackburn, Tim Sherwood, Tim Flowers, Shearer. You know, Man United at the moment are nowhere near that.
Well, it has been a grounding night for Manchester United in what has been an incredibly disappointing season for them. Thank you to Dion and to Graham.